And dare I say, a lot to prove now? I mean, they're up against Wings. Do they really need to prove anything?
They missed their shot at the last major because of visa issues. So I think they they're like, wow, we should have done way better there, and they really didn't stand a chance with the stand-ins and the lack of coordination that they had.
All right, well, let's see if they have what it takes to beat Wings. Some would say the favorites coming into the series as we work our way into the draft. Gentlemen, what are you thinking?
Panda. First ban.
They learned. They saw the Wings Panda. They don't want that cheese winter.
But looking on the Wings ban as well, I think Nyx is one of the most key heroes that would allow the VG lineup to function well. When ROTK plays the hero, it's very easy for his team, to farm the map and to create pressure as a Nyx, because you don't really need too much. You need your arcane boots, level 6. That's pretty much it. And ROTK is one of those offlaners where he always likes to look for kills. Like, he's always on the hunt. He wants to pressure.
Sure. And pressure he will there. Now, last time we saw Wings come out was such a quick two-person pick.
Invoker Witch Doctor?
Yeah, it was Panda and Invoker. This time, Invoker Witch Doctor. Do you guys have any idea the synergy? I mean, Witch Doctor is not really your first pick material. Not
Safe Lane Void time.
Safe Lane Void, is that the Purple Brothers coming out once again? What makes you say that?
Nice synergy with Safe Lane Void. And that's a Wings thing to do now that Void is just completely off the map. It's time. Time to bring him back. Actually, he was picked early in the tournament.
I think Ben's thinking along the right lines, at least for Wings. These like little pocket combinations that they've shown.
Yep.
As far as VG.J, their manager did kind of say that they were probably going to ban out the Brewmaster and Keeper of Light before, just because of obviously the strength of Keeper of Light, one of Ice's better heroes, and of course the Brewmaster adding that pocket strategy that they didn't really want to deal with.
This game looks like both teams are going to gear towards like a very heavy team fight. Like you mentioned, like the Void could be a very possible option with the Witch Doctor and Invoker. Very good setup for them.
Yeah, and if you're VG.J, you're probably very happy with your first two picks right now. You've gotten basically the heroes, the signature heroes.
I think I would go for Tide for ROTK if I see the Void, because Tide against Void is always like a matchup where no one wants to make the first move, because whoever goes first will.
Really? I think Void's actually really good for his Tide.
But you have to catch the Tide in the chrono. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like if the Tide, the Tide when you get dagger, you're not gonna let the Void catch you, and you're only gonna let your teammates show on the map in the fights. And once you drop the chrono, he comes in, he drops the Ravage behind the chrono. That's why it's very difficult for the Void to actually initiate against the Tide. Even though your point is true, where if he gets the Tide, then the Tide is screwed.
All right, well, we'll see that respect band come out from ROTK. If you missed the matches earlier, pretty much some would say the single-handed victory coming out from that and those catches. And gonna have a Warlock and a Slardar picked up. Pretty standard stuff so far, right, gentlemen, except for the Witch Doctor.
Yeah, Witch
It's a lot
Doctor
of
is
team
still,
fight. It's not that abnormal.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's abnormal. It's just like a really solid support. It's pretty good at dealing with the Slardar. One of the better heroes, like, because when Slardar runs in a fight, he wants to like get in, get out. Like with the cast, he might get stunned twice, and you can easily kill him during sprint. I hate playing against Witch Doctor when I play Slardar. I really hate.
Who does? Jack, can you give me a rundown of some common heroes here? I got a bad memory here for the J squad, the Jeremy Lin Juniors, if you will.
Well, there are some other heroes that they haven't really run. Obviously, this game Invoker's been picked up by Wings, but I don't think VG.J has used them in an official. And I also think that VG.J, I think they mentioned that they haven't really played or practiced Lone Druid so far this patch. So, as you can see, like Lone Druid would most likely have been banned out or taken at this point already against
what is
European
Freeze's
or North
best
American.
hero?
Storm?
What is his best hero? Storm?
Storm, the spirits. I would say Storm or Ember. He's played Ember a lot, very convincing. Maybe Ember, of course, with the Invoker on board, maybe doesn't want to deal with that Quas Wax immediately.
That's true.
Rubik banned down.
So you'll be leaning towards more Storm for Freeze this game.
I don't think Storm fares that well versus Invoker either. Storm's generally pretty owned by Cold Snap.
But he does play like the other heroes, like the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah.
But Storm is by far his best hero.
I would say Storm or Ember. He's played a decent amount of Shadow Fiend, and that is a direction for them to go, if they go maybe in that armor direction. But Storm, in terms of being able to get on top of the Invoker, is an option that we've seen a lot of teams use as well. Without that Keeper of the Light, with, I don't know, maybe a ban on Nyx or something, which you already see, obviously, with ROTK heroes.
That was a quick clockwork
Yeah.
pickup.
He's really good versus Solari and
Barbarian
Warlock, I
Warlock,
think.
and you have Sunstrike, so that's
Yeah.
pretty much a very clear direction that you see Wings are going right now. A good catch, use the Sunstrike, and they're pretty good setup for the Witch Doctor ultimate as well. Like the cogs, it makes it difficult for them to go in the fights to focus the Witch Doctor.
A very smart man once told me that Outworld Devour, a pretty good lineup here against Clockwork. I believe his name was Fogged. Do you agree, Mr. Ben?
So. He's like short range. I don't like the mid-range heroes like TA, Luna, OD like versus the Clockwork. It's just
I mean, it goes both ways because
Yeah.
if you hook his teammate, he has the prison,
it's
and
It's
you
not
build
a hard
you build
counter.
for stuff. I wouldn't say he's a hard counter.
he's soft counter,
soft
I
counter.
suppose.
Soft counter, a medium counter.
You did mention the imprison. I think the defensive utility of that, we've seen some teams use that pretty well. Could be useful when they're trying to combo someone or build them up with the clockwork.
I
Or
mean,
just build
it
Force
could,
Staff.
yeah, it's an option. It's definitely an option here. But it doesn't really use the corrosive haste. That's the only. But I guess it's not a big deal. We've seen sometimes. Okay.
All right.
His favorite, you know.
Sheber is sad she's not here right now because she was talking a lot of smack about this Underlord before, but you guys have been pretty okay with it. Winter, I think you said that it wasn't that bad last time we saw it coming out.
Yeah, I think the hero still serves his purpose where you pick him in a 5-man lineup. He's really strong with 5-manning, especially with the Warlock. His spells are very useful to lock, and he's very strong in the laning phase.
Yeah, I think this is a good pick for two reasons. First of all, if Ice continues the trend of playing relatively greedily for Wings, Underlord is kind of a hero that, because of his laning presence, can punish that a bit. He can really just make things a little bit murkier for your carry, take your tower quickly, get up his required items to start those team fights. And this is a hero that ROTK has been playing quite a bit in the new
Because
patch.
he likes playing tanky heroes. Right? I always get the impression that he likes to play heroes that are very hard to kill, runs up to your face, takes the focus fire for his team. Like he's best at those kind of heroes.
But come on, I mean, we saw ROTK on an amazing Nyx Assassin. We've seen him on
Magnus.
They're
great
banned.
Magnus. He needs the in-your-face heroes. Ben,
Yeah.
not aggressive enough on the Underlord?
It's not my. It's hard to make big plays with the Underlord.
But it tells us that they want a 5-man
Yeah,
push towers.
definitely.
That's what the hero tells you, and he's really strong in the lane.
But as you mentioned, like Tidehunter, for example, might have been a little bit stronger. But
But
you
he
know,
doesn't pressure the lane as well as like Underlord, because Underlord, he has the aura is just very annoying.
The issue they've had with playing the Underlord, I think, is teams have played either with more range or mobility, and then it restricts the Underlords. They haven't paired him with a really strong pusher, and so a couple times, like the Underlord, I think you mostly want to force these like kind of clump team fights where you can't really DPS.
Yeah,
out
you
DPS
want to
him.
pair him with Lone Druid, but they don't play Lone Druid, right?
Right. So either they're going to break that trend this game or find some other way. I was thinking perhaps Terrorblade or something like that
Oh,
they
yeah,
can protect with
they do
counter initiation
this team
and
plays
begin taking
Terrorblade.
towers.
Yeah, that's true. Terrorblade would be really good with Underlord. You force pushers, Underlord's your front line. If anything goes sour, just Dark Reef and get out.
And he's also got a built-in spell counter to kind of the burst that you have from Wings' initial
They
pick.
go for the Weaver though. Weaver's not like, he has synergy with the minus armor, but he's not like the standard strong pushing carry. He can push, but not as hard as a Terry. But he does provide very good presence in the lane. That's what I see right now from the two picks ROTK chosen here. He has chosen for heroes that are much stronger in the lane. So I think the focus right now is not only for team fights, they want to have solid lanes.
Right, once again, what you said about lanes and mentioned before, potentially punishing the greed from Wings if they go
Yeah.
with a greedy direction here.
But they don't
in
have to
lane.
go greedy, you know. That's the thing. They haven't shown that we're going to go greedy here.
Stormslayer banned out, so a little bit of that initiation that maybe they were afraid of catching up. Ben, you said that was a pretty rough lane for the Invoker, right?
which one?
The Storm Spirit makes
Okay, I
Invoker's
think
life a
Oh,
little
it's
hard.
okay. It's
Yeah,
fine
it's
for
okay. Like I think
it's
both
rougher
sides
for
will
the
farm.
Storm.
Yeah, both sides will farm. But at the same time, if you look at the first 4 heroes of Wings, it's apparent that they're not going to look to team fight you because they have a Clockwork. Clockwork, low cooldown. He wants to catch with Sunstrike. Slug's going to move you around, split push. That's like going to be the base of the idea. Wings are going to split push. So they probably would want for more wave clear, I think, with their
Yeah,
next
like
support.
Keeper would be perfect.
But Keeper's always
But
already
Keeper's
removed.
banned. Tree would be
I
great.
think
Tree's
Wyvern
not-
could work, like split push, and you have the Cold Embrace against the Weaver and the Slug could be useful.
I don't like Wyvern so
Yeah, but
much
the hero
versus-
is like kind of weak in the patch, so I don't know. But he
I like
does.
him-
I think he does play the hero. I remember seeing Ice play that hero. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jack. I think it's seen like very few games, but he does play the hero.
They're going to enter out with the Ember Spirit. We're talking about the strengths of the Spirits, Jack.
If you're talking about Ice playing a hero, the answer is probably yes, that he's played quite a that guy is just a natural kind of tinker, so to speak. When he's with the team, he's always just got so much enthusiasm, breaking down different heroes, talking about stuff. He really just works himself up into a lather, talking about
He plays
any hero.
anything, basically.
Yeah, and he's probably behind a lot of the little pocket strategies and innovations that they come up with.
Oh,
Well, wait. Support clock?
Support
Oh.
clock.
my God. Gentlemen, hold me. Could it be a match where Lone Druid was not picked or banned? Is it my heart? Chinese donut, ladies and gentlemen, we've been saved. Please, walk me through. What do you think in Winter? Who's got this one in the bag?
I don't know. I don't know about the support clock though. As I said, Wings would lose to themselves, so I'm going for
They
ROTK.
they might aggro. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I have no.
I don't know
mean,
what's
I like
going on.
Timber.
I don't know what's going on, so I'm just going to go for ROTK's team here.
Yeah.
I have faith in Wings.
I like Wings draft. I think they have a lot of things to punish some of the front line coming out from VG.J, but they have to not get destroyed in lane.
Understood, understood. Well, there's your predictions for you, ladies and gentlemen. We'll head over to the casters. Will Wings play themselves, or will the Jeremy Lin Juniors come out with a victory? We'll find out very soon. Over to our wonderful casters there, who I forgot.
Lyrical, fucked.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. Pass it over to those beautiful casters, Lyrical.
That was the best hint transition ever. Thank you so much, Slacks in the panel. Merlini for the shout out as well. I hope that you guys enjoyed the draft, but now it's time to hop into the game. It's Wings facing off against VG.J. Fogged, how are you feeling? Do you think that this support clockwork that we're expecting now from Wings was the answer that they needed?
I like the theme of their lineup. It's just like they said, though. They do have to come out ahead in the lanes, but they do scale very hard later on. Timber saw it very good versus the Slardar and the Underlord. So I'm a little bit favored for Wings, but yeah, they definitely need to come out in a good fashion in this lane phase.
Yeah, and you mentioned during the draft, well, actually you didn't mention it, you said let out an audible ew as the Underlord pick came with the Slark getting taken from Wings as well. Can you run me through a little bit of what the problem is there running a Slark against the Underlord?
It can be a little bit hard. The ew is more just Slark versus Underlord can be it just can be difficult. So, the pit can be very obnoxious playing around in an atrophy aura. Since you do steal agility, it reduces you quite a lot.
Now, well, we're going to head out across the map now. You can see Ice. He will be playing this clockwork, and well, I guess I'm kind of wondering what is going to be the main purpose of this clockwork in the laning stage, and how are they going to kind of cover that natural weakness that you would expect? Do they just run him together with the Timber Saw there along the top lane, or how do you see him? What do you see him doing in this first stages?
He's definitely just going to run around. I mean, we'll probably see him focus more on the bottom lane just to make sure the zoning, but on Ice is always just a playmaker. He's the guy who just runs between lanes and does whatever. Maybe we'll see him even start top to guarantee that Faith Beyond gets his level 3, because once Timbersaw usually gets 3 and Poor Man's Shield, it's pretty hard to zone him out of the lane.
You can see that. So ROTK already off in the jungle. Just Iron Talon tangos for him. He's knows where his place is in this world. And as we go to the quad cam right now, you can see that everybody's just going to be trading off these bounty runes and heading off to respective lanes. Is there any lane that you feel is particularly vulnerable for either team here, or a lane where you feel like there might be some chances for kills early?
But probably mid lane, because it looks like he's going to be going for the Quas Wex build, so that's maybe will Ice do the roaming potential Ice on mid with the Tornado to remove the Ember Shield, and then the follow-up with the Cogs and just lock down the Ember Spirit. Definitely a possibility.
Could be kind of neat there. You get some nice movement speed on Clockwork, possibly go for a couple of extra points in Wex to get an increased Tornado lift, and then just run in and cogs the guy. Might be a neat little way to play it.
Yeah, though he actually gets EMP level 1 versus the Ember Spirit, so cute little thing that he's doing there. And it's the same similar situation that Vici did earlier when they had ROTK jungle, and they just put FY bottom, and he tries to get what possible, but yeah, Ice is focusing first down there. EMP, gonna hit freeze first, remove the Flame Guard right away, and kind of just mess with him a bit, because losing 100 mana early on, you're not even gonna be able to spam your spells really. So this looks like it'll probably be quite an Invoker favored matchup.
And you can see down here in the bottom lane as well, FY, he's not necessarily that hard position 3 by any means, or 4 neither, so he'll be happy with whatever he gets out of this lane, but it does sort of feel like it's going to be rough. As
you see that?
FY, he's not too pleased with the situation.
Ice is taunting him. He's spamming the Clockwork taunt right in front of his tower. FY is just not amused whatsoever.
Oh my god. Well, clearly teams that know each other quite well as well. We talked about it during the draft that these are a couple of teams that have been scrimming against each other, and so, you know, maybe a little bit of friendly rivalry that exists there as well.
Yeah, definitely. I love that, though. I love when they like actually say something to each other, just like, come on, man.
Yeah, particularly have a region that's not necessarily known for its BM. If this was NA, it'd be nothing new, but we're over here in China right now. And Clockwork going to try and move over and contest that bounty rune, but it did look like he backed out after the fact. Faith Beyond will be able to pick up one in the top lane. And how do you feel like this Weaver is going to be doing up here against the Timbersaw?
It's going to be a free farm Weaver for sure. The thing is that the Timber he's 2v1. And, oh, there we go. Pressure's going to be coming out on Faith Beyond. He does have the 2 points in the reactive armor plus the poor man shield, so the damage he takes is quite minimal. But, yeah, it's only a dual lane, so Timbersaw is at least going to be able to get farm and levels in this matchup.
And you can see already also the magic stick up and online for him. So even the spam out of the Shadow Word not really going to come to too much fruition. Can see that Slark has been a pretty big beneficiary of this Clockwork just being able to zone out that Slardar. Currently 16-6 leading the way with CS as well as Invoker mid.
Looks good. This might be the time when he goes down here. He does get the triple crush, but looks like Ice might be able to close the distance. Will they be able to? No, they won't. The Maledict with this extra bonus damage from Sprint, it's going to be FY's death.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice one. They're able to pick that up. Why? A nice first blood for him, and that should ensure some early boots for him as well.
Yeah, getting the 2 points early in Maledict was very, very crucial for that kill. Ice wasn't able to close the gap from that nice 3-man stun from FY, but very nice decision to go for that skill build. Mid lane, Blink putting a ton of pressure on Freeze right now, as expected from Quaswex Invoker versus an Ember Spirit, since you just have such easy ways to remove the shield.
And I'm almost wondering, you get one of those rotations in, it could end up being a kill. We did see why just barely missed that Maledict on the Underlord. Could have been a chance for maybe a little something brewing there, but actually they found him now, but the Shrine and why? I don't think you want to be here any longer. Gonna get the clarity canceled, and
he wants FY to stun, but FY definitely clicks on him and knows he has the TP. So this is going to be a long chase coming out, but we should be seeing Y die quite easily here from the overall chase time. But the cast.
Okay, bouncing back between and chase continuing. The crush is going to be there, and, well, the movement speed advantage is going to ensure the kill, even though Ice was walking in.
Yep, mid lane, Freeze getting some pressure put on him. The right click, one more. Gets the tornado on him too.
That's going to be enough. Nicely played there by Blink. So now the old man taking some off the young gun there as well.
It's a hard matchup for the Ember Spirit versus a Quaswex Invoker. You really are always susceptible to getting dove, especially once he gets the early phase boots, which now Blink does have.
So normally when we look at an Invoker, you talk about Quaswex not necessarily scaling as well sometimes, but do you see him? Well, FY, I might need to hold on to that thought, is in the area. Chain's not going to connect, so a little bit
FY's waiting for the tornado. He wants to wait for the tornado to be used, but
I mean, Freeze might just end up dying here regardless. No, they turn it back around. Blink, that was such good patience, and you kind of wonder if at that point, like, you know, the Invoker was wondering if something was up that he wasn't moving at all.
Yeah, they actually had the Rune Ward, but I'm not sure if they actually caught the glimpse of him getting the invisibility rune, but very good patience from FY there.
Well, in the meantime, 2-2, it's 5 minutes into this one. Sort of feeling a little bit of a tough match for the Ember Spirit at first, but that kill certainly helps them back out. Do you think that either team is more happy scaling into the late game with these lineups that they've got?
I would say Wings. I mean, they have a Slark and Invoker. Invoker is one of those heroes that he has so much potential to do once he hits those high levels. So it's a bit early to tell what these lanes really are going to be dictating, because it's pretty even. It's still a bit Wings favored just because they have the Timbersaw being able to just contest the enemy safe lane so much. And he actually pressured aggressive to actually go back to the base. So pretty impressive single-handed plays from Faith Beyond.
And we also, again, taking a look at the CS 28 and 12 to the 20 and 3 of the Ember Spirit. This is kind of what you would expect, though, taking that Ember into the Invoker. Like, Invoker was first pick. It was no surprise for VG.J that Freeze was not going to have a good time here.
Yeah, you don't really always expect like the Quaswex to come out entirely. Like the Exort's been quite a favorite for a lot of players right now, but yeah, it's super hard matchup, and Freeze is trying to jungle a bit in between because he knows like that lane matchup is too hard for him to just stay there, and he won't get enough.
Well, in the meantime, Slark still leading the way in terms of CS and net worth at this point. FY is in the area and able to soak up some of this experience from the creeps. But it does feel like if he goes down there too low, a rotation from Slark with all of those points up in Maledicт could find the kill. So he's not going to end up stepping down there.
He's still doing pretty well. Like, FY's guide is almost at level 5. He can buy Tranquil Boots if he wants to. I don't think he likes to do that. He usually just goes the Boots Wind Lace directly into the Blink Dagger. But his timing will be pretty decent right now. Already 800 gold on him.
Oh, uh-oh. That's not supposed to happen like that, ROTK. It's fine. Nobody saw. Don't worry. So, Student 2 still 7 minutes in. Is there any chance right now that we end up seeing any type of rotation? It feels like it's an incredibly passive lane stage. They're actually able to get the pounce there onto... Oh, the
Aggressive
Weaver
does not
in
even
some
have time lapse.
trouble.
He's dead.
This is going to end up being a kill. A huge play right there by Shadow. Ends up picking up the kill on the Weaver.
I was about to say that I think Wings is very satisfied with the way the lanes are going right now. All 3 of their cores are pretty much free farming in a way. And now, I mean, Aggressive tries to make a nice little move in the bottom lane, but Y is ready with the Sentry instantly, and they get the stun. The Maledicт, he doesn't have time lapse, and just gets brought down. So the 2-1-2 build coming out from the Witch Doctor.
And again, it's just Invoker in the mid lane continuing to farm away. It hasn't felt like the Timbersaw has been hampered at all. Wings very happy with the early stage of this game. I guess for VG.J there's not really much you can do to try and change the status quo, though, is there?
They don't really have the heroes to be that aggressive. Like, what, you're going to bring your Slaughter and your Warlock with a Weaver down to the bottom lane to try to kill a Slark? It's pretty hard to kill either the Slark or any of the cores pretty much on Wings. All 3 of them are super durable, or they have an escape mechanism like the Invoker and the Slark.
Oh. Well, support Clockwork certainly working out for this moment, maxing out the battery assault. Kind of an interesting little way to run heroes down. I guess you just transition into the normal Clockwork at a certain point in this build.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't really had to do too much in this game so far. When it's usually, Ice Ice is usually the one like running around making a lot of plays. He doesn't have to, but mid lane freeze again. First time he shows up again after farming jungle for a bit, instantly gets EMP'd, pushed out. He's completely but he does have some bottle charges, gets up an illusion rune.
Yeah, Blink is just really having a show on this Invoker against the Ember Spirit, and it feels, I mean, a lot of times when we've seen this lineup from VG.J, it's been them not doing too well. As Fenrir is going to get gone upon, a lot of damage being dealt out. They're going to throw the Fatal Bonds as well with all these creeps, trying to duck and dodge as much as he possibly can, and actually going to Dark Rift in for this? All right, this should be canceled, I would imagine, unless RTK wants to go back home.
Yeah, no, he needed to go back home.
No.
He could have probably
Ice
gotten
Ice?
there.
Bottom? In some trouble. Cogs Max is going to die there to the Weaver, but, well, able to get out. And
yeah, Faith Beyond is just, all 3 cores on Wings are just absolutely free farming. Faith Beyond goes the 0-3-4 build, so he can literally just stand at the tower, and he even has a hood on top of that array. So 41 HP per second when he's max reactive. Lovely Timbersaw stuff.
God, what a hero. And you've got Y right next to you, so if anybody does show up, Maledicт damage could be enough to take him down, and looks like he's going to turn, tries to bring him down. Freeze is going to jump forward, and they're able to find that kill. But can we see Faith Beyond make anything else of this? It doesn't look like it's going to happen, since mana pool is not high enough.
Yeah, Blink was making the rotation as well, but it was spotted out by the Dire Observer Ward. But yeah, just to go toward, give Vici a little bit of a positive, is clicking on FY again. 1,600 gold with his boots. Windlace already 6 on 9 for him for the Slaughter. So he'll have a very early Blink Dagger to at least try to make some aggressive plays. I mean, that's the only really real way that they can, just because of the way these lane matchups happen.
Well, and again, the point that I was going to make before we saw those couple of kills is that as FY is going to get away on nothing, is that we've seen this lineup from VG.J pretty consistently not do great in the laning stage, but then come back through the mid-game team fights. And you think about that Atrophy, or you think about a Pit of Malice laid down and all of the big AoE damage that Ember Spirit brings with the levels that he's at least been able to secure. Is that a way for them to sort of pull themselves back into this?
They have to wait for the blink on the Slaughter. I think that it's really hard for them to fight into the Invoker. He can reduce pretty much. He can just completely nullify Ember's potential to do a lot of damage. Bottom lane again, Ice Ice.
God.
Getting put on. He does not get the hook shot onto Aggressive when he's invis. Aggressive able to dodge into the tree lines. Just kind of be aggressive.
Yeah, well, and you see right there already the Shadow Amulet completed, trying to cast that on Ice Ice to make sure he's out. But you certainly are okay using that hook shot to sort of ensure that you survive there.
But yeah, Wings definitely feeling in a super comfortable position. It's really hard for VG to really go on the aggressive at all unless they do like a full group up with the Warlock, with the Underlord, with the Slaughter and everything. That's their potential to really go for those fights. They need everybody though, just because of the deficit that they're at the moment.
I'm not really sure what FY is planning on doing down here. I mean, he's in the area there with the Underlord, but with no other rotations, it seems like it'd be hard to find a kill.
Just waiting to see if maybe if Faithbeyond like overcommits since he's playing super aggressive on this Timbersaw. They even put a scan down, so they're seeing if there's any backup for Faithbeyond, and now I think this is where we're going to see the big aggressive play come out. 4-hero rotation. I think this is your death, Faithbeyond. You are very tanky with your hood, though, and your reactive armor, but I think they might be able to bring you down eventually.
Oh, my God.
Not without doing a good chunk of damage.
Yeah, that was pretty well played, and now they're going to come in with Blink for a moment, and he does have a Tornado, but it does not look like they want to chase that one down. Maybe you have somebody else there. He was just too far out at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Maxine, he ends up dropping the ulti, but can't find anybody there. So just dissuades the Weaver from driving any further.
Top lane, they're going on Ice. He's trying to pick something up for ROTK, but it's 4 heroes versus just a little Clockwork. However, Shadow's there. He's got the Shadow Blade. Brock committed.
They're going to be able to do it. A nice hook shot is going to be able to at least stun them for a second, but there's not a whole heck of a lot. That does look like they're going to be able to find 1 kill with Shadow. And now continuing the chase. Now just going to run out of there to the best of their abilities. Cannot pounce. Does have the Dark Pact. Maybe not able to get out of there. Freeze finds a kill, and that's a dominating streak for him. And well, Y is maybe in a little bit of trouble as well. They're able to get him before he gets to the shrine. Does finally pop it, but will it be enough to keep him alive? Their coconuts are bouncing on the other side of the fight. It looks like Weaver is going to be brought down. Faithbeyond back into the mix and trying to run out and away. Y out there, the cast.
Oh,
no!
They don't get either stops. Oh, man.
Huge.
Y survives, though, and forces a lot of reactions, and the Weaver does die. That's the big thing.
Well, a nicely played combination there, and you take a look, the final score kind of a little bit murked there, but Slurk going down to me feels like it was pretty huge, and you're kind of trading kills at this point against VG.J.
Yeah, the Slurk going down is massive, because now that gives FY his Blink Dagger. So it's 13 minutes in, support Slaughter with Blink Dagger in level 8. Pretty damn good.
Yeah, I guess the downside is that he is almost caught up with the Weaver, which is not necessarily the best in the world. The fact that your position 1 Weaver is that far down. And you've still got this like massive tri-core of farm that's going on from Wings in the top lane. So I'm a little bit concerned still about VG.J. Looks like they're going to go into ROTK. A good bit of damage. Does look like he's going to end up taking it. The proc comes out and Y picks up another kill.
Is there potential now to go for this tower push whenever the Underlord's dead? The Warlock ultimate's down. Ice goes for the hook shot. Now they know the Blink's there, though, from FY.
Yeah, and Chakram as well from Faithbeyond there in the area. Triple running forward. They aren't going to be able to keep Shadow alive. Even popped his ultimate, but wasn't able to find it. Invoker now also going to get amped up for the moment. Corrosive Haze on top of him. Fenrir very low, is going to die. This Witch Doctor ultimate's going to do a good bit if anybody sticks around in the midst of all of it. And it looks like Weaver is going to be forced to back out time-lapse to take all that damage
Blink
off.
FY's diving Blink under the tower, and he actually gets him.
Oh my goodness.
We didn't get to see that one on the screen, but I was watching. He just chased out the Invoker all the way to the tower.
Oh my God, and well, Ice, the crush, they use it
crush.
now onto 2. A good come in now from Faithbeyond, and they're trying to bring him down, push back from the cogs. Ice still alive for the moment, able to walk away from the Firestorm. Freeze is there as well with his shield and trying to take down Ice. Hasn't been able to get eyes on him as of yet. The chains are not going to connect either, though we do have the rest of these heroes very low. Y is going to drop, looking for a bit more now. Shadow has respawned in the amount of time that this battle has taken, and Freeze, Maledict damage, almost able to take him down, but alive on barely nothing, and now the chase continues. Does he have enough mana for the Chakram? It doesn't look like it's going to be there quite yet. Stick charges off cooldown now, and there's going to be the Dark Rift to get him out.
Vici just bringing all 5 heroes, getting that was such a big heads-up play from Freeze there to blow up Shadow under the tower. They didn't even have Rock during that to chase out, but FY, the big winner in that one, gets a solo kill on the Invoker. Level 11 on this Slaughter now.
Yeah, and this is a time when you would love to be able to throw out just a couple of those big spells for initiation. Like you think about if a Tornado EMP started that fight instead and how different it would have looked. And they're still trying to pressure this tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. The crush comes out though, and now this Timbersaw in a lot of trouble. They've got him rooted. They're trying to bring him down and continuing to be bashed and stunned. Freeze, wicked sick this early stage of the game.
after the laning phase, you would never expect something like that. Like he is going to struggle so much for his Invoker, but with the rotations coming out, with those heads-up aggressive plays by him, excellent awareness.
Yeah, and I mean, you've still got this
Mid lane.
Invoker down there. They're also going to be TPing in with the rest of them. Corrosive Haze has the vision and trying to get out of the way. The root is there. They're going to be able to find that kill. Ice is here to try and save the day, but it's not going to happen. And now Y going to get dove under the tower, trying to throw out the Death Ward. It's not going to be enough, and FY secures the kill at the end. VG.J, after a really, really rough laning stage, are pulling together these fights.
Wings are just getting outnumbered. They don't really seem to have everybody in position ready for these type of engagements, but now it's under a tier 1 tower. ROTK gets brought down really quickly.
Well, there's the rock to drop, turn it back around. They're able to take down Shadow nonetheless, and they want to kill off this golem. They're TPing in on top of it as Freeze is here with those boots of travel, and Chase going to continue, at least for the moment. Ice just needs CP out, but it's not going to happen. FY says no, and the tier 1 tower is sure to fall in this mid lane, barring something ridiculous.
Same kind of thing, though, same concept. It's Vici just having the numbers on Wings. This Ice Clockwork Esky isn't really having the impact I feel like that they want him to. He's not having good luck with his hook shots. He's not really getting on top of anybody either. And it's just Vici outnumbering in every single situation and taking the better engagements.
And we think back to about 5 minutes ago and how different that net worth chart sort of looked across the board. You've now got everybody pretty even amongst them, and you've still got this, position 4 from VG.J, the Slardar, who's gotten so much out of this game.
Yeah, Wings was about 4,000 gold in advantage and 4,000 experience in advantage, and now it starts swinging to about 3,000 in both factors for Vici. But yeah, this Slardar, FY, level 13 now on him. Almost, he actually has his Midas finished up too. He is completely more than transitioned. He's higher level than aggressive by a lot, and he has more farm. Well, he's gonna have pretty much the same, similar farm with the Midas.
So if you're Wings right now, you go through a rough laning phase or a good laning phase, and then you kind of throw that a bit away through the 5 minutes coming out from Vici. What's your play at this point?
Play around the cooldowns and just stick together. It's really the number games right now. It's Vici just always outnumbering him and then fighting with the golem. Right now, Rock is down. This is where we could see Wings try to go for some potential aggression. Shadow is trying to push out the lanes, try to clear out these tier 1s so they can take some better fights. The mid lane, Fitbeyond, getting pressured a bit, but Freeze can't solo kill him by any means.
It was really impressive seeing VG.J keep that Timber Saw rooted in place for so long, because there's that little downtime between the procs, and they timed their stuns so that he was constantly rooted and wasn't able to Timber Chain out of there. Really, really good stuff there from them.
Oh, Pit of Malice.
It's a terrible spell. It's so rough.
It's so rough to deal with. If you just get, you get pitted, you get stunned, you get pitted again, you get chained, you get pitted again. It's like, oh god, like 10 seconds to disable. Help me, please.
Well, you're going to see if Faith Beyond can figure out a way to deal with it. Does look like he's going to be going for the Bloodstone after that Hood of Defiance. Makes a lot of sense. Invoker was working on his Aghanims as well.
It looked like he was going for the Bloodstone, but with all the roots that he's dealing with, he actually looks like he's going back for a Lotus Orb. Also wanting to have that innate 10 armor bonus rather than having to rely on just the reactive. Definitely going to be crucial versus this very over-leveled Slardar, who's level 14, so he has level 2 in Corrosive Haze. He's going to be able to hit his level 3 Corrosive Haze very early on in this game.
And there's going to be eventually more sources of minus armor to match. Actually, it does look like we're going to be seeing aggressive go back for the Diffusal Blade instead of the Daedalus. Do you like that pickup in this game?
Instead of Daedalus, I was like,
did I say a Daedalus?
Yes.
I meant Diffusal Blade. Thank you. I caught myself there for a second.
Helps him chase out, and I don't see any specific abilities that he can purge. Maybe just preemptive like the Ghost Scepters, but no specific thing. It's a decent damage as well, with the agility that you get from it. So definitely a cool item pickup that he wants to go for. Not feeling like he needs the Desolator just yet.
Okay. Now we do see also movement now down here by FY, looking for initiation, finds Ice. The Corrosive Haze on top of him, gets a Lucky Bash as well. But they're not going to be able to continue the chase as of yet. This is so scary right now for Wings, though. My goodness.
I guess the Diffusal as well for aggressive gives him more solo kill potential on the Witch Doctors in the back lines and stuff too. You can always just purge and chase down really easily. Gives him more catch mechanics as well.
God, and this movement right now, this is something that we've seen time and again from VG.J in the qualifiers as well, is if you do start to decide to 5-man, you can Dark Rift out to 1 tower at the end of it. It looks like they're just going to be able to take it with a couple and come back and maybe secure the defense of a tower here in mid as well.
Blink with the alacrity. He's going to be able to get it, but he does get correct. But instant Ghost Walk before he's able to get Corrosive. Great heads-up play by Blink, expecting FY to be there.
Yeah, knew what was going to happen, knew that he needed to be able to respond, gets himself away, and those are the types of plays they're going to need to consistently make in this game, it feels like. Do you still think that right now VG.J are the team that you just have to be so worried about, or are Wings kind of pulling themselves back into it by farming up?
We might see a huge fight just come out right here. They have ward vision of all 3 heroes. The Ember Spirit is not in range here. They see the smoke come out.
Now Blink maybe baiting for a second. He's right-clicking away, and well, it looks like Wings not wanting to take this engagement as of yet. A little bit too scary for him.
They know the Rock is up, and they know that Vici now all grouped up.
Wow,
and Ice is going to get brought down really quickly here.
That's the Crush. Tornado trying to get him out of there, but it was never going to be enough. And everybody just back out, get away. I mean, with Roshan going down, can Wings even really do anything here at this point?
Man, that's going to really set them back. They're just going to have to farm and split push. It's like Winter said on the panel, too. Like, Vici, when they group up, their team fight is pretty ridiculous. So Wings are just going to have to play around this, get their farm up, and work for the really far late game with their Invoker-Slark combo.
All right, well, we'll have to see if they're capable of holding out. This is going to be a really tense moment. Like you mentioned, Faith Beyond does have that plate mail now in his inventory. Almost completed the Losar, actually got it now. So this is going to make things a little bit easier to him as far as fighting goes.
Yeah, able to remove the Corrosive Haze off of himself and teammates. Also with the remove the roots. Definitely a necessary pickup. He realized that after that bottom situation that you were talking about, he just got chain rooted over and over and over again.
Underlord also with the Blade Mail. Well, this is a pretty great item pickup for them as well. I guess pretty good against the Timber Saw, and anything else there that really any heroes that are gonna suffer from it? Maybe the Slark?
Yeah, it's hard to like focus him, and he's just gonna be able to survive throughout the fights and have his atrophy aura help his team more and more. So it's really hard to it's like, oh, you want to focus me down? You're gonna take a heap of damage from it. Even versus the Invoker, Timber, Slark, all 3 cores, it's definitely a very good pickup from ROTK.
All right, well, Midas is there for the Invoker after the Aghanims, and well, we've also got the Slark building back now towards the Scotty. Shadow realizing he's need some of these big items to come online, and I mean, he's still top net worth hero. This is one of those games where I feel like Slark could just kind of get out of hand.
They have to go for that. I mean, they can't fight for quite a while. The Rock is up as well, so they just have to sit back, split push as much as possible, get their farm up, wait for later. Ice, though, looking to make a move onto aggressive. It looks like he's set up in the tree lines. Stop canceling his hook over and over again.
Well, thinking about it, they could potentially go in on this. It would be a pretty scary moment, but with only 3 heroes, I guess 4 heroes down there now.
Yeah, now they can't go. FY is going to be able to get a jump onto Y. They're going to have the chains follow up. It should be a Witch Doctor dead pretty easily here.
Well, there's going to be the Lotus Orb used, but yeah, no way out of it. And did he actually use the Death Ward there as well? Faith Beyond in the area as well. Needs to be careful here. The EMP is going to take away all of that mana from ROTK, but might be hard-pressed to continue the chase too much further. They're Timber chaining forward.
Yeah, it's really hard to fight into Vici's lineup with the massive 5-man potential as well as the Guardian Greaves up on the Underlord now. While they don't really have their mech, on Wings. It's very hard for them to really take those type of engagements. It does look like the Clockwork is going to be going back for it, but I really don't think that they're getting what they wanted out of this Clockwork.
Yeah, it's been feeling a little bit rough, not going to lie. And it's not as if, they were really struggling during the laning phase, but it's almost as if he's not able to do anything past that in some ways. The Shadow Blade's still there for the Slark, and it looks like they're going to be able to catch a couple of D wards here as well. You mentioned the split push consistently. That's what Wings are going to basically need to do, but do they need to take fights occasionally as well? Because it feels like if they just split push constantly, they're just going to get picked off every now and then as well.
Yeah, but they have very good pickoff too. That's a nice thing. So they can get some trade pickoffs, and they do scale very well. So it's going to be like the game of pickoffs, but the one scary thing is that Vici has that Roche potential at all times, and they are kind of closing the map. Taking that tier 2 bottom, they give themselves a lot more control.
You got to love the Slark being able to find all of those D wards around the map, taking away that vision. And you can see there's still some around the map right now, but by and large, Wings have been able to take care of that. And still VG.J off to a pretty big lead at this point. Well, what's the next step for them? Like, they're able to secure Aegis. They've still got it on Weaver. Do they just need to start running around the map and try and take down these towers?
Like you said, they're going to try to go for pickoffs. Run it towers, maybe try to go for a pickoff with the smoke, or try to catch them when they know shadows, like pushing out lanes. Just go for a quick jump and blow somebody up with the Slardar and the Golem. But they definitely want to push the advantage, get another tier 2 or so with this Aegis.
Shadow?
Bottom lane, though, instead of going for the push, they go for Shadow with the Slardar, and bam, they get a nice smoke rotation.
Really well played there as well. And I mean, it's something where you didn't even have a chance to really get anything off. They've also got the root there for a second onto the Invoker, but they use the Lotus Orb and take it off. And now turn their attention onto tier 2. It's brought down. This has felt to me like the easiest tier 2 tower takedowns that we've seen in a really long time.
Yeah.
Well, EMP Tornado out. It's going to
RTK.
drain away that mana. He's already got Guardian Greaves, though, and he dropped the meatball after the cold snap. The Invoker lifts himself up in the Eul's. That's a pretty nice little hook shot in, but the counterplay comes out from Fenrir as well. Going to be able to catch him there for a moment. Another big pit of Malice. All of the damage comes out. Freeze, a monster beyond godlike.
Freeze is playing out of his mind.
And they got control again onto this Invoker. The right clicks are there. We're 27 minutes in, but VG.J are just not going to be denied here. So hard to deal with this type of 5-man group up push strat.
It doesn't even look like Wings can do it looks like this game might just be over. They can't do it. They can't contest this, but whatsoever.
Like, I don't know how the worst thing that they've got going for them right now on VG.J's lineup is that there's a tier 2 that's basically stopping them from going top. It's been a rough one for Wings.
Yeah, that, like you said though, in that last fight, that pit of Malice, 3-man pit into 2-man chains, into another pit on top of that, and just getting hit by the Fatal Bonds as well. Just way too much damage potential, way too much team fight coming out from VG. Wings just seem like they're like, what? How do we contest this?
I mean, they've got 3 or 4 heroes now with 10,000 net worth at 28 minutes in. This has been everything that VG.J have wanted and nothing that Wings have wanted.
FY is so massive. Level 18 on his way toward his BKB. The Force Lardar, 28 minutes. He is absurdly farmed. I think the big thing that stands out for me though in the early game is that they just got outnumbered whenever they were going for those tier 1 pushes by Wings, and it's really hurting them. They're really unable to contest this massive 5-man potential from VG, but looks like they're trying to go for a pickoff on Freeze. They have the Ward Vision on him, but they don't really have good heroes to kill an Ember Spirit. They don't have that great of lockdown.
Oh, jeez. Tornado off the mark. The hook shot misses. A lot of things went wrong right there, and Freeze able to back out again. Shadow could potentially go on to him here. He is going to be able to get some damage out. Slowed for the moment, so his Remnant would be rather slow as well. Sunstrike, off the mark. He throws out the other one to the side. They manage to find the Rocket Flare as well onto him. Dark Pack Pounce, they get the kill. So something going right now for Wings, but just as we say that, they come back around again, and Ice going to end up being able to TP out of there. Pit of Malice obviously not breaking the TP. Faith Beyond, well, they also have Shadow now. The Lotus Orb is going to be able to keep them a little bit tankier, and they throw out the Tornado combo with the Chakram. This team fight is looking okay for Wings at this point with Shadow going in, but now Faith Beyond is gone, and now they just need to escape. Oh God, Diffuso Blade, oh no, this is not what he wants. Blink, they pull him back in, right clicks, he's gone. FY picks up the kill.
And that was without Rock. They end up being able to take the fight. It's on their side, so they're able to react. FY had his BKB as well, so he's able to get in and out. Multiple crushes, lock down the Timbersaw, but they just don't really seem to have damage versus VG's lineup either with this Guardian Greaves with the Atrophy Aura versus the Slark. Just really hurts him. They are able to get Freeze, which was great. But other than that, it's extremely difficult to kill this Ember Spirit with their very almost negligible amount of stuns. But they do force the Remnants, all 3 Remnants to be used, and they dive him super far, but costs them heavily.
It feels to me as if Wings just need the perfect initiation, the perfect fight to be able to do anything, and it's not often you're going to be able to count on that. In your eyes, though, like what would that perfect initiation look like against VG.J?
Right now, it's starting to get a bit too hard, with the amount of items that they have, because they can get counter-initiated on so easily by the Warlock. It's like if they can get on the back line somehow and burst down the Warlock before the Rock comes out, that's probably their best play. But it's really hard because then FY also has an immense amount of farm, and he can be the counter-initiator.
Right. And we did just see the gem picked up as well for the Warlock. So from bad to worse for the moment, 11 to 26, and Sunstrike
ROTK,
coming in.
mid
This
lane.
might be a way to start it off. They do manage to find that kill. So, well,
Uh-oh,
FY
though.
and Freeze show up. Oh, God, no. This is not the way it's meant to go. And, well, they're going to try and back out in a way, but Faith Beyond, not going to happen.
Wolf. Getting themselves a kill, but costing heavily. VG just always responding with so many heroes, just always seem to be in the position. Seeming to just read Wings' movement very well in this game.
Go Gadget hook shot there as he is able to escape, but that means it's not going to be there for the next fight. And, well, most likely also the Slark and the Timber Saw won't be either, as they're gone for about 40 seconds for now. Roshan, a little bit of a longer respawn. This is helping Wings out at least slightly, but it still does feel like they're basically, it's up to VG.J at this point as to what's going to happen in this game.
Yeah, for the past about 16 minutes or so, it's been just Vici.
We'll have to watch to see if there's anything that Wings can really do. I mean, you mentioned gaining on the back lines. Maybe it comes off the back of a tornado into a hook shot, and then you drop everything on top of them with Timbersaw Chakram and stuff. Could be like the ultimate goal there.
But then how do you really bring down the Weaver and the Ember
Yeah.
and the Slardar now at this point? Because this Slardar, he isn't even like support at all anymore. He is a damage dealing core. He has BKB, Hyperstone, level 21. He even takes the damage talent, the attack speed talent. He is a damage dealing force. And if they do kill the Warlock, there's just so many different things they have to deal with still.
Maybe you catch them all in the tornado and they like group up for you. That's
5-man combo. But there is the BKB on the Weaver, so at least has that. And they have the Guardian Greaves and the BKB on the Slardar.
All right, this could be it maybe. They, well, try and hook shot in. ROTK there. He's there to tank the gank. They throw out the tornado, but there is going to be the golem drop down.
4-man
Throw
pit.
Well, it might be enough. No, it's not going to be there. Shadow, they've taken down the Underlord, but already the Clockwork and the Witch Doctor are gone. And it does look like, at least for now, Invoker is going to be able to run away, as is Shadow. That was still a rough one, and they've got the Aegis.
Yeah, they do get the Pit Lord, which is a great kill, but yeah, them claiming the Aegis now puts Wings even more on the back foot, having to go straight up for that split push even more.
19,000 net worth on the Weaver. Might as well be $1 million at this point for all it does Wings' ability to kill him. And Mjolnir done. I'm sort of wondering at this stage also if your Wings, like, is there anything you can really try and do? Like, do you just need to go for a big 5-man smoke and try and pick somebody off, or is that not even really super viable?
Right now is an okay time if they see people split up, but they don't even have like the best ways to push the waves out now. Everyone feels so afraid. It's like Shadow is the only one really trying to push these waves out. Even Faith Beyond is very reluctant at this point, just because of the massive pickoff potential that Vici has with this super farm Slardar and Freeze.
We have the Orchid picked up for Freeze. He's gone for a little bit of a different build this time around on the Ember Spirit, you know, going for the Maelstrom first and then going back again for the Orchid. Usually we've been seeing the Veil Ember Spirit, but
I really like the Orchid this game, though. Versus all 3 cores on the side of Wings, he's going to be able to just bring them down very easily.
Uh-oh. Ice.
Oh, my
Not long
God.
for this world. He ends up going down there.
Gets shredded.
All right. Aghanim's on Timber. I mean, these heroes, they've got a decent amount of farm. It feels like he's not necessarily going to have the most mana regen for that item, though.
No Bloodstone. No Bloodstone Timbersaw. So only 6 mana regen per second, so very low amount for him. It just, you can understand what they want to go for. They just like try to burst something down very quickly and then reset the fight, have the Slark come in and out over and over, get an Essence Shift charges afterwards, but still, I mean...
Good aggressive there. He's just standing in their base. Has no respect at all for this Wings lineup right now. Now it's time to push, and the Assault Cuirass on the Slardar, as you mentioned, certainly not a position 4 anymore.
He is unbelievably farmed.
Yeah, he's
level 23 too. Like, he's gonna hit 25 so early in this game.
He's almost more farmed than the Slark. Life is not good right now for the Wings heroes, and what could potentially be the final countdown for this Wings game number 1 in this series. Well, looks like they're just going to take down the tier 3 tower. They just literally are not going to be able to stop them from hitting it.
Yeah, aggressive just in the front line. Now Solo crested up, hitting the range racks.
Dodge the Chakram. They throw out the EMP. Cold Snap there as well, taking away the mana. Well, he's got the Aegis still, not too afraid of the things that are happening. FY, they get a good Pit of Malice down. They need to be careful, Shadow. Now forced to pop the ulti already, and over here to the side, Clockwork going to be brought down. And they are just completely owning them.
God,
FY, a monster. They're going to be able to take down another. It does look like they're going to lose Y. They end up losing Blink. The rock gets dropped. It's all gone wrong for Wings throughout this game. The damage is coming out a decent amount, but an ultra kill now for Aggressive. Might even take a bit more off the back of it. He is going to be coming back in just a second from that Aegis as, well, Freeze is right there on top of him. Blink going down. Rampage as well for Aggressive. And GG gets called. What a note to end it on.
Damn. FY played incredibly well in this game. Got his Blink Dagger so early on.
Yeah.
But I think like
Hi
the
guys,
big
this is
telltale
Jack,
thing
and I'd
was
like
Hey, Jack. How's it going?
that was Jack. The bottom tower, the bottom tier 1 tower was like the big thing that happened. It was just like they tried to go for this push. VG responds with 5 heroes, and then it seemed to happen multiple times where Wings had like 2 or 3 heroes, and VG just were like, okay, we're bringing all 5. We have this heavy 5-man lineup, and Wings just were unable to really able to do anything versus that.
Yeah, it just feels to me as if there just wasn't really anything to do after that initial strong laning stage. And I'm sort of wondering at this point, where do you go with the draft? Like, clearly there was a problem that happened. Things did not go the way that they wanted it to. Is there anything really that stands out to you that you feel like could be changed as an easy fix, or you just completely throw out the drawing board and start over new?
That's Wings in a nutshell, right?
Yeah, I guess
they
that's
usually
true.
just like kind of switch up completely what they go for. I don't think the Clockwork did what they wanted to at all. They did. I mean, the thing is that they won all 3 lanes, though. They were like farming really well in all 3 lanes, and then it just becomes that timing when the Abyssal Underlord gets his mech, and they're unable to really do anything. They can't group up and go for towers. Yeah. Just like really well done by Vici being able to group up and use their heroes. And Freeze's heads-up play there in the bottom at the tier 1 tower was also incredibly good. He had a horrible laning phase, which doesn't play any testament like that. It was his fault. It's just a hard matchup.
Yeah.
And then he gets triple Remnant solo kill basically on Shadow.
It was great play indeed, yeah. So I'm excited to see what they come out with in game number 2. I'm expecting bigger things from Wings, maybe a Brew Invoker play, who knows? Could be a possibility, might be neat. But we'll have to hold off and see what that's going to be for just a second. We're going to go a quick commercial break, but this elimination match is going to possibly conclude unless Wings can come up with an answer right after this.
Gaming Bets, online betting for